morning everyone, hope you've all had a great week. So in this week's episode you are going to be following me out to America for the 2023 Vintage Gunners Cup, hosted by the fabulous Delaney Sons. So we have finally made it. I am here at the 2023 Vintage Gunners Cup at Warrington Sporting Clays. I'm hoping to get out and shoot the event today. If not, I'm definitely going to get out tomorrow and shoot the main event on the third day. I'm going to take you guys around the main tent. We're going to have a chat with a couple of the vendors, do some interviews and have a look around the event that's being hosted by Delaney Sons this year. So we are here with Toby from Heritage Guns, fellow Brit. We've come over here for the weekend's event so far. Obviously it's the first year. Have you done this event before?
Yeah, I've done this event quite a few times since 2000.
Okay.
But not in this venue. So this is a experimental run for everybody.
Yeah.
We have no idea, we had no idea rather. We have a better idea now, but we had no idea who was going to turn up, if anybody.
Yeah, I mean, obviously yesterday was really, really hot, wasn't it?
Spectacular.
It's obviously cooled down a little bit today and there's quite a few people turning out now and milling about, so it definitely looks a fair bit busier.
Yeah.
Obviously, you were at the southern side with me, so obviously we know that you head out here a lot with all of your beautiful English stuff. Is that predominantly what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. That's totally what I do. I have very little interest in modern guns. I mean, they're great. They work fantastically well. They break clays, they kill game, but they don't have that cachet, that special little thing that something that was made 120, 140, 150 years ago.
So we're not going to catch you with a Beretta anytime soon.
Well, you'll catch me with a Beretta, but I'll only be handing it to someone else to shoot, or maybe fixing it when it goes wrong.
When it goes wrong, possibly. So one of the ones that I really want to look at is this beautiful 410. So talk to me
about this gun. Okay, so this dates from before 1898, which is a very insignificant date in the States because it's when guns go from being furniture to firearms. So as far as the legal situation in this country, this is furniture.
Yep.
It is not a firearm. Works perfectly well. It's been, apparently, I am reliably informed that this was with the same family from new.
Yep.
And recently came into the market. I was incredibly lucky to be in the right place at the right time. Picked it up for a fairly substantial amount of money.
Yep.
I thought it would probably just go to somebody with very, very deep pockets because it is a disappearingly rare piece of firearm.
410, side lever, side lock.
Absolutely. You'll see the side lever. Well, you'll see the side lever in a lot of very cheap, largely Belgian-made guns.
But this is a different kind of side lever, isn't
totally.
it? This is a
completely different beast. So if you take this, it's made by F.T. Baker, who was the guy who's responsible for E.J. Churchill, who is now still a name in the market. And both he and E.J. Churchill both went for this wall-to-wall engraving, which is quite unusual in anything, very unusual, in fact, unheard of in a gun on a 410, because they were sold at this time for killing rats around the farm buildings or for introducing, a 6-year-old boy or girl to the concept of gun safety and so on.
Pulling the trigger.
They're pretty damn useless, frankly, although they were then. But this gun was ordered by someone who was probably barking mad, had far too much money, and decided that he wanted a gun that was very similar to the gun that he shot with for somebody, maybe himself. Strangely, it has almost a full-length stock. So the actual wood on this is, I think, 13 3/4, which is very unusual.
Yeah.
They're usually 13, 12 and a half. They're made for little people
Yeah.
or to go in the, in the back of the Land Rover or whatever. 27-inch original barrels, steel. It's still on its original proof size.
Christ.
Even though it's, 120 or 125 years old. 2.5-inch chambered, extra full choke in both, which again indicates to me that it was bought by someone who was actually planning to use it,
Yes.
rather than be
Rather than
just be something for a kid to play with around the farm buildings. Original case, again.
Which obviously you've renovated really, really beautifully.
Well, I was really lucky with this gun. I mean, most of the guns that I do need a quite considerable amount of work, but with this particular gun, when it came to me, structurally it was good. It just needed the aesthetic sorting out. The barrels were obviously, the blacking was worn. Most of the pins, as we call them, screws, whatever anybody else wants to call them, were a bit mashed, so they needed replacing, engraving, hardening, tempering, and all the rest of it. The engraving was in amazingly good condition, so a tiny bit of damage here on the side lever, which was picked out by a wonderful guy who used to work for Boss and Purdy.
Yeah.
Refinish the wood, do the checkering, leather covered recoil pad, sort out the case, which had taken a bit of a battering,
Yeah.
through people I know in the trade who just do lovely work. And
There it is.
what can you say?
I mean, straight away, obviously I've got a bit of a soft spot for 410s at the moment with the amount of shooting I've been doing, but that is...
Yeah,
It is
I
fabulous.
shot this to test it, and my partner shot this to test it, and it is such a cute gun to shoot.
Yeah.
And it's 14 and a half length of pull, which is a bit short for me,
Yeah.
but it's such a tiny little gun.
Yeah.
You can adapt yourself for it. It's very high in the comb. Again, I think that probably indicates a female user, because generally speaking,
Yeah, ladies,
high cheekbones. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe it was just a youngster who had a very, very indulgent dad, or mum.
Oh, Mum. Well, Toby,
Lovely
fantastic
to
to see you again. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. So we are just out in front of the clubhouse, and I'm going to film one of the chaps shooting the beautiful 5-stand behind us. It's a fantastic setting out over the pond behind us here. I'm hoping it's going to make some really, really good footage. So we are here with Eric from Hound and Hair. Thank you for talking to us today. So this is the first year you've done the event, yes?
It is. It is our first year at the Vintage.
And how have you found it so far?
Well, it's been great. I mean, we're surrounded by guns, gun makers.
You've picked a good spot.
Fellow enthusiasts. So it's great to be here.
Obviously it's hotter than hell in here at the moment.
It is extremely warm,
Yeah.
but it gives us all more to think forward to hunting season. We can actually put on some gear and get out and shoot some birds.
Yeah, good. So obviously this is the first year that Delaney Sons have hosted them, and obviously you went out and shot with them in November
Yes.
last year. So that was your first British shooting experience?
It was.
And?
It was. It was wonderful. I mean, November in Wales and England was great. Great to get out there and actually use some of the gear.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to tell people what they need when you're outfitting for a driven shoot without trying it yourself.
Yeah.
So now I'm hooked. I'm ready to go back.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll have you back over with us next year.
Yes.
So, straight away earlier on when I first came over, that jacket caught my eye. Talk to me a little bit about that, because that is absolutely beautiful.
Well, this is the Cumberland jacket. So this is one of our designs that we have made in England. Waterproof, 100% waterproof, but it still has that classic wax cotton feel.
Yeah.
It's a dry wax, you don't have to re-wax it. You could even wash it if you need to.
Okay.
But it's outfitted with everything that a shooter needs.
Yeah.
Has a long tail in the back, so it keeps a little bit of
back
coverage.
end dry.
Yes, exactly. Removable hood, plenty of pockets, 2 chest pockets on the outside. You have drain holes for the shell bags, as well as nice hand zips on the sides.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love the colour of that. I mean, that lighter colour is starting to become a little bit more popular from the traditional, for us younger people anyway. Obviously you've got it in the green there, which is a lovely colour, but that, to me, straight away, when I walked over this morning, really stood out to me.
Well, you know, it's one of the things what got me into this and starting Hound and Hair was I love the jackets that my grandfather had, my uncle had, that I still have, that were made well. So, like all of the gun makers around us, the firearms that have been around for over 100 years that are well made, we want to make great gear that can be with you for a lifetime and passed on as well.
Yes.
So it's kind of like an heirloom today, something you're going to pass on. But you know, we've been out west in South Dakota chasing pheasant in our waxwear jacket and our pants, as well as the vest.
And obviously they're all matching, and you can get the full set.
You can do a little matchy-matchy. And they're all waterproof. You do a great job of that over in England for us.
Yeah, obviously we know how wet it is back at home.
They're definitely authorities
Yep.
on waterproofing and how to do it well.
Yep.
So that's something we're excited about, and there's a couple of lodges that have that signature lodge. Cheyenne Ridge out in South Dakota and Pierre has that stocked in their pro shop. So,
Wait, it's a beautiful piece of kit. It is really lovely. Well, Eric,
thank you so
thank
much.
you for talking to us today. Thank
Great
you very
to
much.
meet you.
And you, thank you. So we are here with Bob Ney of MacNab Fine Firearms. So Bob, obviously I met you at the Southern back in April. Obviously you do quite a lot of these events over the years, I'm guessing. Obviously this is a bit of a fresh start as such for the vintage being here and obviously hosted by Delaney's. How have you found the event so far?
Well, it's been very good for us. We've got a lot of vendors, a big tent, and we have a lot of shooters here. We got a parking lot full of cars from the shooters, and we've had a lot of heavy foot traffic in the show. And I carry a lot of vintage firearms.
As we can see, yeah. I mean, obviously this is probably one of my favourite ones on the stand. So come on, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, this is a pretty rare gun. It's a 20 bore Stephen Grant and Son bar and wood hammer gun, and it has 29-inch nitro Damascus barrels, 2 3/4 inch chambered. And Stephen Grant's Son today, from their records, can't tell us how many 20 bores were made, but it was very few. And this is one of those, and it's in just wonderful condition.
It is a fabulous looking thing. And obviously it's presented in a nice case as well, and it's got a hell of a bit of wood on it as well. It's a real nice piece on there. Do you know any history on the gun at all?
You know, I don't have a background on it per se, but most of the 20 bores or small bores made in the British market were made for lads and ladies.
Yes.
So they tended to be short barreled and they tended to be short stocked. This one has 29-inch barrels, so that's really makes it pretty rare. And this one had a short stock, but it's been very well done by a London, fixed up by a London gun maker with a nice stock extension. So it's a pretty desirable gun here in the U.S. We like the small bores quite a bit.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you've got some beautiful stuff on the stand in general, but that really stood out to me today. But what a fantastic gun.
One more interesting bit is it's actually #1 of a pair.
Oh.
So it was made as a pair, which usually on the small bores you don't see much of that, although I do have a pair of 16-bore Grant sidelock ejectors as well.
Yes, which you brought to the Southern with you
back
in April. They were beautiful.
Thanks.
Well, Bob, thank you for talking to us.
Yeah,
really
thanks very
appreciate
much.
it. Thank you.
Come over, visit us.
So we are here with JP from John Dickson Sons, my partner in crime for the weekend.
For my sins, yep.
So obviously we had a nice trip out last night, didn't we? Pro Bass Shop.
Oh yeah.
Spent way too much money.
It's an experience.
It was awesome. It was absolutely fantastic. Obviously you guys that follow me on Instagram, I just plied it all over there last night. So this event, a bit new for you this year, isn't it? Obviously,
Yeah,
you've done the Vintage Gunners for how many years?
Gosh, probably about 5 years now.
Yeah, but this is a little bit new this year. Obviously, Delaney Sons are hosting the event, and obviously the new venue here at Warrington Sporting Clays. How have you found it so far?
Yeah, it's been a great event, to be quite honest. So as you said, new location, new setup, new experience. We've previously been at up in the north of Pennsylvania. Certainly, this place easily accessible. People coming in from all over the USA. And it's been a great show so far. Delaney's, our hosts, have done a great job of
just
of
next
pulling
door
it,
as well.
Yeah, just pulling it together.
Prime position.
So, no, really, really good. Great to see all these vintage guns, here and see everybody coming over for it. So, it's been,
and obviously it's been really busy. I mean, I know the first day was a little bit quiet, but it was hotter than hell, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, gosh, the temperatures have been, unusually high this year.
I mean, you even broke the shorts out on the first day.
I did. I broke the shorts, which I don't usually do. But yeah, no, it's been probably a little bit quieter on the Thursday, but people are still working. But really the weekend is when people are all travelling down. I think today's going to be very busy.
I mean, yesterday was really busy. It was rammed,
busy.
And obviously the foot flow today's been. Yeah. I think a lot of people are out shooting early this morning
because of the heat. I mean, it's certainly climbing now.
Yeah.
And I think they'll all be in here later to finally seal the deal on some stuff.
So, seeing as we're on a John Dickson Sons,
yeah.
I think we best talk about a round action.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about this one out of the pair.
Yeah, sure. So here we've got an absolute beautiful example of vintage John Dickson round action. Epitome. This gun was made in 1896. One of a pair, as you said there. The epitome of style.
I mean, that is beautifully engraved.
Yeah, and very unusually engraved because, for some strange reason, there's some are engraved in some Jack Sumner workshop in London with a fine foliate scroll there. But it has these very unusual things engraved on the detonators. And believe it or not, these are dandelions. And for some strange reason, Dixon's had these engraved on their round actions for only 2 years, between 1896 and 1898. So if you're out there and you see a Dixon round action with these dandelions carved in there, it's going to be built within those 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this one is absolutely spectacular.
I mean, the twist barrels on that are absolutely fabulous.
We're very fortunate that really, really nice example. And Dixon guns always had the really finest Damascus barrels there. These ones measure absolutely superbly, and obviously nitro proof as well for the 2.5-inch cartridge. But a really beautiful example of a Dixon round action.
Yeah, I mean that it is absolutely, and the piece of wood on that is absolutely
really, really nice.
Stunning.
In the keeping, not too fancy, but it's got some lovely.
And obviously presented in that beautiful case with its sister gun. It's a real stunner. Well, JP, thank you.
Always a pleasure to see you, Ed.
Yeah,
always a pleasure.
So we are here with Liz from Delaney Sons. Obviously, Delaney Sons are hosting the Vintage Gunners Cup. Obviously, it's the first year you've done this.
Yes, it is.
So something nice and new. Obviously, it's the first year it's been here as well, isn't it?
It has. It's been around for 25 years, actually. And it started in Rhode Island, and it's made its way to a bunch of different locations. But this is the year that it's in central Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And I'm helping out because it's in my backyard.
Yes, yeah. And obviously, you're on the board.
I am. I am vice president.
Gunners.
Yes.
Okay. So obviously, it's something very close to home for you.
It is.
I'm guessing that's why you've sort of stepped up the involvement. Obviously, you've been a vendor.
Yes, we've been a vendor at the Vintage Gunners Cup, I'd say 8 years now, 7-8 years, and we've watched it kind of, have its up days and down days or years, and last year it had run its course where it was, and we just want to infuse just a lot of energy into it, and a lot of our clients shoot with side-by-sides that would come on our trips, and so I really felt like it was in a good central location because in the States you have the whole East Coast. This is kind of right smack in the middle.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it was in places where, Northeast people wouldn't go and then the Southern people wouldn't
so
go.
It's very central for people to get to. I mean, obviously yesterday was really busy. Sadly, I wasn't here on the first day, which I was really gutted about. But yesterday was really, really busy.
It was.
And it was really nice to see so many people milling round the tent and being involved and shooting. And
Yes.
you know, I'm looking forward to getting out having a shot today.
Yes.
Hopefully, maybe if it cools down, because it's a bit warm.
It is. It
it's-
was not expected to be this warm. In fact, Pennsylvania this time of year should be nice and cool, but it is warm.
Yeah.
So I know you from.
I've suffered. I have suffered. I'm not really dressed appropriately. I should have had my shorts.
Yes.
So, but let's talk a little bit about the shooting agency side of things. So obviously you arrange trips all over the world. Over to Spain, you come over to Britain
Yes.
quite a bit.
Yes.
I know obviously you go and see JP up in Scotland and arrange trips.
We do.
But you do it all with American clients.
We do. So shooting the driven style of shooting that you guys do is not something we do here in the States. So a lot of people are curious, and that's what we're doing. We're bringing those people over to the UK, to Spain. We've even gone to Morocco, just to show them how it's done. And my line is, have you seen Downton Abbey?
I like that.
So they say, yes, we have. I said, or The Crown. I said, it's like that, where they have their ties and their tweeds, and we dress up, and it's a big affair. And it's tradition, and it's community, and they love it. And whenever we're there, in fact, the people, the beaters, the pickers up, they love Americans because they feel like celebrities, because we're always like, hey, get our picture
So
with you.
excited
Yes.
about it. And obviously it's very new to a lot of these people. They've never seen it and done it. And
Yes.
I mean, that's quite, about what you do, that's what I really like, is that you bring new people
Yes.
over to Britain
Yeah.
to see the traditional side of what we do.
Yes.
And yeah, it's fantastic. But Liz, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Yes,
Really
Ed,
appreciate
good
it.
to see you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, I'm
Thank
glad you came all the way.
It's been
It
brilliant.
really means a lot. It's not the game fair,
No,
but maybe someday.
but it's different for me. It's like the game fair for me is normal, whereas like this for you guys is normal, and that's what's really great. Is it's just something. It's new to me, and obviously
Yes.
you coming over to us is new. And I mean, you guys have been fantastic hosts, and I'm really grateful that you've had me, let me film
Yes, sure.
and make the video on this. So
Yes.
thank you very much for having me.
Okay,
I've really enjoyed
you're
it.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
So we are here with Jake from Shenk Cartridges. We're going to go around and shoot the main event today, and we're going to be using
our new,
which ones?
Yep, the 2.5 inch low pressure loads for the old vintage guns. So we're one of the few companies in the States doing it right now. And we've been having some great successes, really enjoying meeting some wonderful people, seeing some phenomenal firearms, and looking forward to see how they run out of this this butte here.
So Bob from McNab has very kindly lent me this beautiful Boss live pigeon gun, which is the same gun as I shot last year. So hopefully get on a little bit better with it than I did last year. And obviously we got some, are they in 8s?
So they're number 8s.
Number 8s
Yep.
that we're shooting. So yeah,
We'll see how they run.
we head out.
Appreciate it. Let's go.
Pull.
Oh yeah.
But they kill like hell.
Well, that's the idea. Like I said, I mean, they're meant to use on birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, they've really got some good
Oh yeah.
go to them.
Oh yeah.
All right, trapper ready.
Pull.
Yes, sir. That's a first for me.
Pull. 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 Good, thank you. Are you? Thank you. Pull. Oh. Oh. So, unfortunately, that is a wrap from us here at the 2023 Vintage Gunners Cup. I mean, what can I say? It has been an incredible trip out here, the same as when I came out to the Southern in April. It's been fantastic. The hospitality here is incredible. Everybody is so friendly and so passionate about these old English guns and side-by-sides, and it's amazing to see when obviously, you know, that passion at home is not quite there as it is out here. I mean, to have a whole event with hundreds and thousands of people coming through to shoot, to buy and sell, it's just incredible to see. And the guys from Delaney Sons have done a fantastic job of hosting this year. It's been amazing. They've been amazing hosts, and obviously I'm really looking forward to seeing them when they come over to the UK in a couple of weeks. I did manage to get out today and shoot the main event, which was an 80 bird sporting layout. It was a great course. They have some really different and fun targets, which did catch me out. I struggled on quite a few stands, and yeah, to get to shoot that Boss live pigeon gun, again, it's the same gun that I got to shoot last year, was fantastic. And on that note, I'd like to say a huge thank you to the guys at Shenk Shotshels who supplied me with 80 of their finest cartridges. They are the absolute business. So unfortunately, it's time for me to travel home back to the UK. Another 16 hours of travelling, and yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit lost for words. I'm actually really quite sad to be coming to the end of this event, as the same as I was in April. It's amazing to be out here and to be around the people and surrounded by so much enthusiasm and passion for not just side-by-sides but for shooting in general. It's so different to back home. And yeah, on that note guys, thank you very much for watching this week. We'll see you next week with another video.